The root problem of patriarchy is that it adopts a hierarchical system, which is a vertical line meant to be used as a ranking system. We have the important and desirable things on top and the unimportant and undesirable things at the bottom. So by default, this side is better than this one. And it might look okay if we separate these as good and evil. But what happens when we split it as male, female, strength, vulnerability, or provider, or caregiver? Why should one be more important than the other? The answer in a patriarchy is and will always be power. It tells you who's more important, and who's more important gets to prioritize their needs, which gives me the opportunity to talk about my real beef with patriarchy. The fact that it prioritizes men's needs before children's. And we see it in so many examples that some of us might find even normal. One of the most common scenarios I hear across clients is when the father comes home from work and says he needs to relax. And so now the children and entire household must be quiet. They must have no demands. If they could act like they're invisible, that would be great. In this case, the father's need for decompression takes priority over the children's needs for connection, for play, and the numerous other needs children have depending on age. Why? Well, because the father has more power. Therefore, according to the patriarchal rules, he can prioritize his needs. I think that a healthy society would actually turn this vertical line in a horizontal one. So there's no more rankings, no tops and bottoms. There's a spectrum. And whereas before we'd see the middle of the line as the threshold between desirable and undesirable, now we see that middle becomes the point of integration between these two polarities. Who you are when you identify with neither and both at the same time. Like between male and female, the integration of the two is human being. Between strength and vulnerability, the integration of the two is discernment, knowing when to use what. Between provider and caregiver, the integration is parent. A healthy society understands you're both. Sometimes you may go in one extreme or the other more, but the point is to have a balance, because once we have a balance, we can add the vertical line from before, not to represent rankings, but to represent time. So once we connect the dots and step back, what this structure tells us is that in time, as part of integration, you'll go through all of these phases, even more than once, in order to find a way to always come back in the middle, grounded. When we talk about the self, the middle point is and will always be the self, because it's the only thing that never changes. No matter the seasons, you go through them as an individual. You always take yourself with you. But when we zoom out and apply this model to society, the middle point has to become children. And listen, when I say that, I'm not suggesting that someone else's children should become your personal responsibility either. What I mean